The Dark Knight. So, in the film, Bruce Wayne, Batman, Christian Bale, Police Lieutenant James Gordon, Gary Oldman, and District Attorney Harvey Dent, Aaron Eckhart form an alliance to dismantle organized crime in Gotham City, but are menaced by an anarchist mastermind known as the Joker, who seeks to undermine Batman's influence and throw the city into chaos. Now, this, like, there were a lot of, when this movie was being made, in development, there were some promotional websites and trailers highlighting screenshots of Heath Ledger, Heath Ledger as the Joker, and when I remember there was like pictures of Heath Ledger's, his Joker that were released before the movie came out. I seen them, and people were like, the pictures were very bright and colorful, and a lot of and it also gained a lot of negativity, a lot of negativity. People were like, what the hell is this? And then the trailer came out. And people were losing it and like super excited for the movie. Now Heath Ledger died on January 22nd, 2008, some months after he completed filming and 6 months before the film's release, due to some prescription drugs. But his portrayal, Heath Ledger's portrayal as the Joker, has become very iconic. Like, the character of the Joker is already iconic. All right, Heath Ledger, Joker is a very iconic character. All right, he's an iconic villain. He's right up there with someone like Darth Vader. He's right up there with Darth Vader. Yeah, Darth Vader, Joker. I know there are many others, but those are like the best iconic villains. Even if you're not a DC fan, or you're not a Star Wars fan, unless you've been living under a rock, you should know who those characters are, because they're that popular. They're that iconic. Heath Ledger's portrayal, his interpretation of the Joker, just boosted the character's popularity even more. Even if maybe it was already popular, and it just made it even more popular. So, and everything about this movie is iconic, memorable, and amazing, legendary. All of the above. All of the above. All right, whether you're talking about from the action, whether you're talking about the story, the plot, whether you're talking about the dialogue. Oh my God, I love the dialogue. Spoken, especially from I remember, like, I rewatched the Dark Knight trilogy. At this point, I don't even remember how many, but it's a lot of times. I rewatched the Dark Knight trilogy, all three of them, over and over again. I loved it. I love every single one of them. It's like Batman Begins is great. The Dark Knight is a legacy. Batman Begins is amazing. The Dark Knight is legendary. The Dark Knight Rises is a satisfying conclusion of the epic culmination of the Dark Knight trilogy, like all three of them. And I will be reviewing the Dark Knight Rises after this one, so stay tuned. It will be coming. I will be posting my review for it really soon after this. But anyway, yes, this movie, The Dark Knight, is it's legendary. It left a legacy on the film industries, and what audiences and critics, they loved it. Everyone I talked to loved this movie. There's not a single person who doesn't like this movie. I mean, maybe it's overrated. I mean, maybe some people might say that this movie is overrated, but I don't care. I love this movie. It's amazing. It's considered one of the best films of its decade and one of the greatest and most influential films of all time. It received critical acclaim for its screenplay, visual style, musical score, stunts, the mature themes, performances, particularly Heath Ledger's cinematography, action sequences, the direction led by Christopher Nolan. Everything about this movie is just amazing. All right, amazing, 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 and of course, critics. It's The Dark Knight is on like so many critics' top 10 lists. All right, and it is, it is Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger was posthumously awarded Best Supporting Actor for the film. It's so sad. Like, we are losing so many great actors and actresses. And this man brought such a talent. He brought like this flavor that I have never seen from anywhere else. Heath Ledger brought this flavor, this delicious taste to his portrayal of this Joker. This Joker he loves chaos, he loves anarchy, he's an agent of chaos. So let's just dive right into, so let's just dive right into it. All right, I do know Heath Ledger had to go through, Heath Ledger went through some prosthetic. Prosthetic. I do know. To prepare for the role, Heath Ledger lived alone in a hotel for a month, formulating the character's posture, voice, and personality, and kept a diary in which he recorded the Joker's thoughts and feelings. That right there is a fact. Heath Ledger stayed at a hotel room for a month, just trying to get into the role of the character. That is just, some people, some actors, when they get the role, they do some research and read some comic books and stuff like that. But there is a different type of talent, just preparing for the role, and like that. I love that. I love that I just loved it. All right, I do know he put on what is it, he put some this prosthetic makeup on his face to make it look like, the Glasgow smile, to make the scars on his face that look like a smile, and so yeah, and then Gary Oldman as James Gordon. Here he's finally promoted to Commissioner Gordon, after the previous one died, and then Aaron Eckhart's Harvey Dent. Batman is the Dark Knight. He is the Dark Knight. Harvey Dent is not only is he the district attorney of Gotham City, but he's also Gotham's White Knight. You got these two knights, a White Knight, Harvey Dent, and then the Dark Knight, Batman. And I do know, Tommy Lee Jones played Two-Face in Batman Forever, but that was just painted on. That was just makeup painted on. This, this right here, the Joker kidnaps Harvey Dent, and then Rachel, and then blows up Rachel, and then Harvey Dent, gets his face burnt, and it's all scarred. He becomes Two-Face, he got his face disfigured, turning him into a murderer with a split personality bent on revenge for Rachel. And then, like, what he said, he brought in so much, like, great dialogue, especially the one that is so iconic, which is, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And that right there is so true. That not only is that line, not only is that quote iconic, but it's also 100% true. Like, we kind of see it in, like, future, this movie came out in 2008, and we see it, like, in the future movies. Like, it's such a true statement. And yeah, and I love, his descent. Like, Harvey Dent is like this white knight. He's on top of this pedestal, and meanwhile the Joker is causing mayhem and chaos, and he brings Harvey Dent down with him, and turns Harvey Dent, Gotham's white knight, into this murderer, the Two-Face. And so, yeah. And then, of course, the interrogation scene. How could I not talk about the interrogation scene? This movie opened up with an amazing bank sequence. All right, which is, the movie opens up. We got the bank sequence. Like, all of these robbers are shooting each other. It's all orchestrated by the Joker, and then the Joker himself, the last robber standing, takes off his mask, and it's the Joker. So yeah, that right there, I love that. I love the opening of this movie, and then of course going back to what I said, the interrogation scene, one of the best scenes of all time. There is a little bit of action. I don't know if you want to. It's not really much of. There's a little bit of action in it. Besides Batman punching the shit out of the Joker. But other than that, it's really just two men. Like, these two men on different sides of a coin. Like, you got the heads and you got the tails. These two opposing forces just sitting down, talking. I just love it. It's a great scene. It's a great scene. There's no action. It's just two characters talking to each other. And, the Joker trying to manipulate, trying to dodge Batman's questions, and he's trying to get inside his head and try to, like, undermine him, and try to manipulate him. Oh my god, it's so amazing. Never start with the head. The victim's eyes get all dizzy. I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? And it's I like I said, I know so many quotes from this trilogy. It's amazing. It's amazing. And another thing I absolutely love about the Joker is like the mystery behind him. Like, he has this goal. He wants chaos. He's an agent of chaos. But you don't really know much about it, like, his backstory, his origin. How he became who is the man who will eventually turn into this Joker? Like, how did he become this Joker? You never know that. It's a question mark. Like, he keeps making up these stories. It's all bullshit. Like the first time he said it with Michael J. White. My father. You want to know how I got these scars? My father was my father was an alcoholic, or whatever the hell he said. And then at the dinner scene, it's good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and then he brings the knife to Rachel, and he's like, "You seem a little nervous. Is it the scarves? You want to know how I got them?" And then he makes up a completely different story. Like, it's all bullshit, and I love that. I love that. And it's something very true about the Joker. The Joker is just a question mark. We don't know his actual 100% origin. I know, like in the comics, yeah, there's like different versions of his origin, like the Wet Hood, or like this gang, or like this guy who, this gangster, kind of like um oh my god, Jack Nicholson, kind of like Jack Nicholson. Like there's different versions of his origin, and you don't know if what he's saying is true or if it's all made up and it's all bullshit. And I love that about the Joker. It's what makes him more interesting. Like it's a mystery. Like we don't know who he is. We don't know who the Joker is, and I love that they stay true to that. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah. And I could just go on and on about about this movie. Yeah, I know, like Rachel dies in this film, and it's a big motivation towards the character of Harvey Dent, his descent into becoming the Two-Face. Her death, like, pushes Harvey into becoming Two-Face and to get revenge on all the people, you know, he's doing it for Rachel. And it's such a sad, because you start loving the character of Harvey Dent, like he's on this golden pedestal, and then the Joker just brings him, like grabs him and brings him down, pushes him down into this this rabbit hole, this spiral, and he starts turning into the Two-Face. He starts becoming the Two-Face. So yeah. And then yeah. Oh man. I love this. I love this so much. And how could you? How could you not? It's just, it's iconic. The Dark Knight is an iconic and legendary movie. It is one of my favorite. It's like right up there with Logan. It is one of the best superhero, not only superhero, but one of the best movies ever made, period. It's legendary. So anyway, if you've seen The Dark Knight, let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. Spoiler away. Is there like a specific scene, whether it's an action scene or a dialogue scene, that really stood out for you? Let me know about it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for taking your time to listening to my review. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and I will see all of you lovely people really soon.